Okay, so today we are here with Azumarillfairy, a Dead Cells channel, I believe. Is it okay if I call you Ash today?
Yeah, go for it, man. It's all good.
Okay. You can call me Richard, by the way.
Yeah.
But today I was hoping we can talk about Dead Cells or YouTube or mental health. And I guess the first topic I wanted to open with is how I ended up finding your channel, because I think a part of your content is what actually inspired me to create my own channel.
Are you for real? Yeah, dude, that's sick. That's hella sick.
It is, it is. But
That's
um,
awesome.
but yeah, this story began in early 2020 when the pandemic hit. Um, I had nothing to do, so I decided to play some video games, and then I remember that there was this one game that I used to play, but I just couldn't beat, and that was Dead Cells. So I that was the point where I still couldn't beat 2 BC because I was stuck there for like 2 years actually. I started in 2018, and I was just looking for content on Dead Cells, and then I came across your channel. So Dead Cells is a game where I would play a few couple of runs and then die, and then I would take like a month's break because I was kind of burnt out by the game. But for some reason, every time there was a major update, I would come back. So I think over the course of 2020, I felt like your channel, not only did you grow as a creator, you also grow as a person.
No, I mean, and I first of all, I really appreciate that. That really does mean a lot. And my YouTube thing just automatically played, but I was like, I'm trying to go back and see like what I was uploading in early 2020, and yeah, when the pandemic hit, that was March when I got
Mm-hmm.
pulled out of school, and that was my last year of my grad program, and then I was in a practicum slash internship, whatever you want to call it. I got pulled out of that too,
Oh,
um, and that left me with basically nothing to do. um, so I really had to. I mean, I'd started the YouTube channel, but it was just for fun, and I think just uploading runs and doing these random guides, like I had a lot of fun with it, and um, I was like uploading like almost every day, uploading whatever run, and I had so much fun doing it, and it just kind of grew naturally, which was cool. Like,
yeah. I think it's like really impressive that you grew your channel the way you did because, like, if you knew nothing about YouTube, that kind of growth is still really good considering you were covering like a really small game like Dead Cells.
yeah, I was hella surprised, like what's funny is that actually it took me, I think, 4 or 5 months to hit my first 100, and then I hit the 100 in February, and I think by July I was at 1,000, and it was cool. Like, um, and I think at the time it was just more of I was so involved in the Dead Cells community on everywhere, like I
Mm.
not everywhere except for the Discord, just because I wasn't using Discord that much at the time. Not like I do now. But like on the Reddit, on Twitch, on YouTube, like everything, like I was always like I was all about the game because that was like, in my opinion, like that was a peak of Dead Cells.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and just putting out content was fun for me, and it was also like a sanity thing for me too, because it was like my self-care. Um, because there was nothing else to do. Like, nobody wanted to go out and do anything. Obviously, I didn't want to go out and do anything. My family lives in California. I live in Ohio, so it was like, it was just nothing. And so Dead
Mhm.
Cells really helped carry me through that pandemic.
Yeah, because I think the community, the Dead Cells community, is probably like one of the most supportive I've seen in video games.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's so chill. Like, and people, I mean, obviously you'll always have your toxic people around, but for the most part,
Yeah,
people are so willing to help you out and stuff.
it is. So I think like over the course, I watched your channel grow, and then I remember there was this one video that you put out that really like resonated with me. And that was your 1K sub special video. I believe it was called like Dead Cells in the Game of Life.
Think so? Let
But
me.
I know it's not your most viewed video, but it did feel very impactful to me because I remember in the video you talked about how boss cells in the game kind of alluded to a lot of things in real life. It's like when you advance a boss cell level, you kind of have to find a different strategy because you find that the old one no longer works. And I don't know. I think there's something about that that just really connected with me. I've probably seen that video like 3 times already, to be honest.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Like I'm kind of blushing over here right now because it's like it's really cool. And yeah, that's actually one of my favorite videos I've ever put out. And it was like I'm a big believer in like reflection and just for full transparency, I'm a social worker slash
Hmm.
therapist slash counselor, whatever you want to call it, as my like day job. And something I always tell my clients is like it's really really important to reflect on your on your progress in anything because we're so damn hard on ourselves and I was too with the YouTube channel. And just being able to like look at how far I've gotten with it was like it was really nice.
Yeah, because I think over like late 2020, at least like over the course of the year, I thought a lot about making a YouTube channel, but I didn't know what to make it about. But then I saw your content and I saw like how far you were able to grow with like a really niche type of like gameplay or content. And I thought it would be really cool. Like, wouldn't it be really nice if I was also part of this community? So I think it was late November last year, 2020. I beat 5 BC for the first time. And then I just thought I can probably do what Ash is doing and make my own channel. That would be really cool and I'll see where it goes. So that's kind of where I got the idea for my type of content.
That's awesome, man. And like I remember when I took my really extended break starting in January, I remember you telling me that you had, I think you hit me up on Discord and then you told me like that you had started your channel and I checked it out and that was 5 months ago. And then seeing where you are now at like 9,000 subs, man. Like it's not even just the 9,000 subs because views are one thing, right? But I think it's more the quality of your videos, like the thumbnails are your thumbnails are phenomenal, by the way.
It's
Oh.
I actually started making memes in high school. That's how I kind of started dabbling with Photoshop. And
Hmm.
because when I started my channel, I just thought, I literally have 0 subs. I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I tried to make like clickbaity type of thumbnails, and I just wanted to see where it went. So I really didn't expect too much to come out of the channel, to be honest.
But listen, man, like I think like I'm looking at these like you got a theme to them and like they look good. Like yeah, I mean clickbait's clickbait. It doesn't really matter. I think people get too up in arms about it, but at the end of the day, you know, you do what you got to do. But like I'm looking even at like your which one did I really like that you did recently? I think yeah, your Magic Missiles one, the second to last video that you put out at
Oh
the
yeah.
this is yeah, like this is such a good thumbnail and um like being able to like mess around with different things and then like you know put it out there and then just and I like along with the thumbnails just the quality of content because your videos are a really good length and then your commentary is really good and your gameplay is really good too like for
Well,
someone
thank
who
you.
beat yeah like for someone who beat the game in November man you've come a long way like and that's kind of what I'm was talking about in that video you were referencing like it's really important to like look at your progress and you've made a ton like for real you made a ton.
But I think something that people get wrong about editing is that it's not really like a hard skill to learn. You don't really need a lot of prerequisites. It just takes a lot of time. Even if you like know everything, you still have to like put the footage together and you still have to organize them and put commentary over it. Because like everything you see in my videos, I just looked it up online or I figured it out by experimenting. Um, because I know there are a lot of sound effects or transitions or color mats, but these are really just presets that I found online. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's not that hard to know what you're doing when editing. All it takes is a lot of time, and it's really about how much time you're willing to put into it.
I think that's the key. It's time. And um even after I was ready to come back to YouTube, I wanted to do face cam stuff. Like full on just turn my channel into a complete commentary channel. And I
Uh,
just never got around to it because just I work a lot, and just finding the time to edit videos is just a royal pain in the butt.
yeah, that is true. Um, because I know like that magic missile video, or I guess like any type of 5EC run video, because I have to record the run, which takes like over an hour, and then I have to put commentary over it, which takes around 30 minutes to record, and then probably another hour to edit the audio together to cut out mistakes and everything. And then I put it into the video. And I also have to do an intro because I think those are really cool. Like I usually put like a skit in front of every video to kind of introduce the run. And then also have to make the thumbnail too. And then what's interesting is that I make the thumbnail first before I even do any editing. Because at least my rationale is if I'm done with the video, then my brain will want to put it out as soon as possible and I will rush the thumbnail. Because I've read a bunch of articles or videos saying how the title and the thumbnail makes up like 50% of your views. And I wasn't sure if you knew that.
Yep. And I think part of the reason I struggled for a while, like my growth did stagnate, which it's whatever at this point. I've more than accepted it. But part of the reason my growth did stagnate was because I kind of got complacent with my thumbnails, I guess. Like I did put effort into it. That's maybe I'm using the wrong choice of words, but I definitely like
It
I
definitely has its own charm to it, I would say.
yeah, but I think it also doesn't appease algorithms as well as a lot of other channels. And I think it's a skill for sure. Like I think you have to understand like design at least relatively well. And I think that was something that like I struggled with. But then at the end of the day, how do you want to look at YouTube? Like, do you want to look at it as a hobby, or do you want to look at it as like your your life? And I think that's part of that acceptance is like understanding that like if you have that goal of becoming popular, and it doesn't happen right away, then you have to be able to adapt. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, because I probably don't think YouTube will ever become my full-time job. Um, because if you think about it, no matter how big you get on YouTube, you're still just like a pawn in the grand scheme of things.
Mhm.
YouTube can just delete your channel like any day.
Yeah, we're not Jimmy Fallon, so I mean, but like, even some of my favorite creators out there, like Cody Ko and Curtis Connor and stuff like that, like even they struggle with it sometimes. Like not all their videos do really well, and even Cody Ko, who's had like this insane rise from like I started following him at like 100,000 subs, and now he's at like 6 or 7 mil.
Ooh,
Like, and I started following him 2015, I want to say 2014, 2015. And so in 6 years, he has his own podcast. He has a rap group. He's got his toes dipped in like pretty much every single type of media out there, and like he hustles like constantly, and like he's probably like well over a millionaire at this point. So it's like he's put in a lot of work to make this
mm,
his full time job, and I think people miss that because because I think people assume like, oh, you have to appease the algorithm, you have to be lucky, and that is definitely part of it. But you have to be willing and you have to take that step to be able to like really go all in, and it's a risk you take.
It is, yeah. I think if you transition to like a new type of content, it is like a risky move.
Hmm.
But yeah, another thing I've been feeling these past couple days is that because most of my friends they go to college and most of them are in computer programming,
Hmm.
and a lot of them have like scholarships, internships, basically all types of experiences already.
Yep.
And I'm just here. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel lost because I feel like I'm surrounded by some like really talented people, especially um like my group of friends. And I guess I'm just feeling that feeling this case of imposter syndrome because the graduate program I want to get into is very competitive. And I guess I'm just yeah, sometimes I'm not sure if I can do it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've definitely felt that before. Like I want to validate like what you're saying, and I I also want to kind of put a different spin on this because I think we get so wrapped up in looking at other people, and I do this too. Like we get so wrapped up in looking at other people and their accomplishments, and we don't necessarily look at our strengths and what we do. Like when I work with my clients, like they have that same problem of like not being able to see how good they are. But like I see it, like as their therapist, like I see it all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
like I try to tell them and I try to like work with them and helping them see it. And it's like I've had to do some of that work too. Like when I was in grad school, because I graduated in grad school and I got my social work license in 2020, right? And
Mm.
I I, I had no experience going into it. I have my undergrad's in computer science. It's a really long story, but my undergrad's computer science, then I moved to social work. So I kind of flipped that 180. So I had no experience when I went to grad school, and it's like everybody I was in school with like at least had a psych degree, and then they understood things, and then they were way ahead of me, and I would constantly compare myself to them, and then like I would have like these panic attacks in school and stuff, and I just like it would be really like debilitating for me. But then once I started working in the field and once I started like doing finding my own niche in things, like I really started to look at my strengths, and now I would say, every now and then I do kind of lose a little confidence. I think that's natural, but I would say like now I'm a lot more confident in like my career and how I do things and stuff like that. And I think for and YouTube has helped a lot with that, like just being able to like expand out and like gain a little like charisma when it comes to talking to people and stuff. And I think that's the same thing for you. Like not every skill needs to be acquired in like a traditional fashion. Like for you, like being able to navigate the internet, being able to market yourself on social media and like do designing and stuff like that. Like these are things that are not part of that prototypical computer science education. So I know I kind of went off a little bit there, but like you offer a lot to the world, like you specifically, you offer a lot to the world that like either you may not be aware of yet or you haven't like been able to unlock it yet. So I wouldn't worry too much.
But I think you really earned the spot of where you are right now because I think you mentioned that you work in substance abuse. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but
I
I
do.
think you have a pretty high-end job, and I think for what I can tell, you do have a lot of free time as well. So, because honestly, I wouldn't mind trading spots with you, to be honest.
Free time is a bit of a relative term. Like I said, I start my work early in the morning, and then I only like I work in the office too, so I don't work at home, and I'm working by like 9, and then I only get home at like 10 o'clock. So
Ah, okay. Funny story, the reason why I know the game is because of this one IGN reviewer plagiarized like another channel's review.
yep, I remember that.
And then I heard about it and I was like, well, this game looks interesting. I should try it out. And yeah, so here I am today.
I don't remember how. I think I was just like browsing on the eShop and then I just found it. Like it's not that exciting. But I will say I used to only play sports games, and then Celeste actually opened me up to trying out new games because Celeste is just one of the greatest games ever made, in my
Oh yeah,
opinion.
I played it. I have played it. It is good.
Yeah, like I've beaten everything in that game except for Seasides, and then I just gave up.
Oh, I gave up at some of the B-sides. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
The
it's a
music
hard
is
game.
good though.
Oh my god, yeah. And then it's like it's a game about anxiety and I'm all about that stuff and um like it just I don't know say I really do feel it's one of the greatest games ever made and then that let me branch out and then I found Dead Cells and then I just kind of went down that roguelike path for a while like Slay the Spire and I think my friend Kevin if you're watching this, Kevin Fetters, it's up to Kevin Fetters. He's my boy. But anyways, he he showed me One Step from Eden, and then I've gotten a bunch of other games. Like I know everyone plays Hades. I'm not a big fan of it because I don't like the isometric thing. But one of my
Okay.
subs bought me Bladed Fury. I think another one bought me Vigil. So it's just like different ones I've been able to check out.
Do you play story-based games?
Yeah, I mean occasionally. I mean Persona 5. I mean full disclosure, my two favorite games of all time are Persona 5 and Spider-Man PS4.
Oh, I have played both of them actually.
Yeah, Persona 5 made me cry, man. Like that was some
Oh
shit.
yeah. Have you played 4?
I have four. I just never got around to like really playing it.
Ah, I see.
Like I have it on Steam. I just
Oh
haven't
yeah,
checked.
there's a Steam sale going on right now.
I'm trying to find like what games I can play because I play Bloons like all the time.
Oh, if you want recommendations, I have a lot.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about. Yep, I'm just seeing now the summer sale. They've got Golf with Friends is only $8.99. Golf with Friends is underrated.
But for this sale, I don't know if you heard of Yakuza. It's a game
Yep,
series.
I have
And
Yakuza Zero.
oh yeah, that one, the story is so good. And during the Steam sale, I bought like the entire series because I wanted more.
Ooh, actually, they're selling the Valve Index headset. The VR thing. I wonder if I can play Dead Cells on VR. Like, is that possible?
I wonder what it even be like.
I mean, what you would probably need to do is like open up like the desktop mode or whatever. Oh, they came out with Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Have you ever played Doki Doki Literature Club?
I have seen a playthrough of it, but I didn't play it myself.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it's super jump scary. I don't like games like that. I don't like movies like that either. Um, but there's like and like as far as other games are concerned, like I this is gonna sound weird. I like interactive games that I don't have to do anything and it takes like 5, 6 hours to complete and that's it. I never have to touch it again. So these are games like
Oh,
yeah, like these are games like Coffee Talk and Death and Taxes and Emily is Away. Emily is Away is amazing, by the way. Um, that's basically like a Facebook simulator where you get into a high school relationship and then it gave me a lot of memories of high school and how much I hated it. Um, and
oh,
then
I
the
hated
task
it too.
I don't. Most people didn't like high school. Um, even the test. The test, final revelation, the test, hypothesis rising, and actually, one game I beat I played for like 9 hours straight, like several months ago. Um, I know I've said this a lot, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record. One of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. It's called There Is No Game Wrong Dimension. Great game.
Oh, I have heard of the first one. There is no game.
Yep. So There's No Game. Basically, like it's a parody, but it's like it like I'll give you an example. There's a part that like parodies Zelda, and so you're going through, and then like you parody like the RPG elements, and like it's like it's like point and click advanced. I love point and click games. Like Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange Beyond Storm. Like all those are just phenomenal games.
Have you heard of Disco Elysium?
I have it. I played through like a quarter of it and thought it was pretty good, but I can't use my controller and I don't want to use mouse and keyboard.
Ah, okay. Because they made a patch where all the voice lines are voice acted.
Oh,
All the lines.
I think
Yeah.
I might actually play it now. That sounds really cool. I'm trying to
But
see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I wasn't sure if you were into that type of game because I would say like 95% of Disco Elysium is just you clicking on text.
Oh yeah, dude. I like point and click stuff because it's like I'm very lazy. I don't know. That is. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if it's laziness. I think it's just more of like I like just sitting back and chilling, like and you know, games like Witcher, games like The Last of Us and stuff like that. I can appreciate them for what they are, but then I will never actually play them because of the fact that
Mm.
like I can't hold my attention long enough for that. Whereas like a game like well, I mean then that's why I like roguelikes as much as I do because you can kind of play for a little bit, put it down, play for a little bit, put it down.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But games like Disco Elysium, it fits more into like the visual novel style.
Visual
And
novels are really cool. I love the idea of them.
yeah, if you want a recommendation, there's this a visual novel called The House in Fata Morgana. It's on Steam right now and it's on sale. But this is probably one of the best stories I've seen, like ever.
A gothic suspense tale set in a cursed mansion, The House in Fata Morgana, full-length visual novel spanning nearly a millennium that deals in tragedy, human nature, and insanity. You know I love that psychological shit. I'm all in. I'm gonna get this tonight.
But yeah, but like a major thing about visual novels is that they're not very popular in the West because they originated from Japan. Like you look at anime or manga, a lot of them have been translated and been popularized here, but visual novels seems to be the one type of I guess medium you would call it that hasn't been popularized.
I
So
mean,
a
but
lot of the visual novels are really, really underrated.
right, but I think the problem is the U.S. and especially just the West as a whole is always going to be more console based, and visual novels
Yeah,
not. They translate awfully to consoles,
that's
like
true.
except for the Switch. But not everybody owns a Switch. Everyone should own a Switch, but not everybody owns a Switch.
Hmm.
I mean, just because I say everyone should own one just because of the convenience, and then the if the Switch ever got like Netflix and like social media capabilities, it would blow the other two out of the water easily. But that's my hot take of 2021. Also, my hot take of 2021 is Suns and Six. I don't know if you watch basketball, but I'm saying Suns and Six.
I do not watch basketball.
Fair enough. I love basketball. I mean, I used to love sports, but um, honestly, pandemic just kind of killed it for me. I stopped giving
Yeah.
a shit.
I used to go to the gym before the pandemic hit,
Yeah.
but they closed down ever since, and I just reserved my second shot, the vaccine, like yesterday.
Oh,
So I
nice,
can't
dude.
wait to go back.
Did you get sick on the first one?
No, but my arm was sore, like where they stuck the needle in, it was sore, and I had like a bit of a headache the next day.
Gotcha. I mean, I did Moderna back in. I'm a healthcare worker, so I was first in line, and I got my first
Oh,
shot
okay.
in December, my second in January, and December I was fine. January I had flu-like symptoms for a day, so I worked from home when I got sick, but it was only for a day,
I see.
and I've been vaccinated ever since. So for me, like I've been fine. I still go around and I wear my mask and stuff like that, but you know, um, that's like the one thing is like people like especially working in my field, like people always complaining about the masks, and I'm just like, dude, just wear it. I have to wear it for 10 hours a day. Like, don't even try this with me. But yeah, man. I mean, I think video games, like, this is gonna sound cheesy as hell, but I think video games have this unique ability to kind of help us out when we're feeling like down and isolated.
Oh yeah, it's like an escape essentially.
Yeah, like, and people always have this negative connotation of escapes, but like, it doesn't have to be. Like, as long as we can set those proper boundaries with it, like, then it's okay. Like, you know, I think like if you have multiple things for self care, like in my latest video, like I'm talking about self care, like in a very abstract manner, but you know, you can do things like play video games and then go to the gym and then if yoga is your thing, then you can do yoga or meditation or whatever, or you can like, burn some incense, like do whatever you want. As long as you got like multiple avenues of that, then like it's just convenient mediums. But I think sometimes what happens is that people get fixated on that one thing.
That's
And
true. Yeah.
that's when it becomes a problem.
But I mainly stick to single player games. Because, well, first of all, I'm not good at multiplayer games, and
Neither am I, don't
a lot of the
worry.
times you have to deal with like toxicity, burnout.
Oh yeah.
Um, so
I used to play Madden online, Madden NFL, and after I stopped, after like people just kept using like racial slurs and like cussing me out. Like I don't want to be like I don't want to like have to be called racial slurs and like be cussed out by like a 12-year-old, you know?
yeah,
Like that's
that's
not what I'm trying to.
basically yeah, it's basically the reason why I don't play multiplayer games.
Yeah,
But
like I'm not about that life.
yeah, for sure.
um But yeah, man. I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of good things going on for you. It sounds like, you know, you're a lot more well adjusted. I mean, I'm not that much older than you, but like when I was like 21, 22, I was just not well adjusted at all. And it sounds like you've got a lot of maturity and like you're able to navigate things really, really efficiently.
Thank you. Well, I think you are very. I think the position where you are right now is also like pretty favorable. I would say where you are right now is where I will aim to be, if that makes
Appreciate
sense.
I appreciate that, man. Like, and obviously, like, podcasts or not, like if you ever need advice on the whole social work thing, like I'm more than happy to help you out. Like I love my job and I love my field and I love talking about mental health and all that fun stuff. And I think it's important to address it because I think the biggest thing for me is I think everyone has something going on, you know? And I think what happens sometimes is we try to convince ourselves that we're okay because I think again it goes back to like comparing ourselves to others and like we try to put on a mask but then everyone is putting on a mask. So if everyone is putting on a mask, then no one is doing okay. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge that and address it and like be okay with not being okay. Like let's feel sadness is essentially what I'm saying. Like it's okay to feel emotions and it's okay to feel what you're feeling.
Mm.
I mean, you don't want to dwell in it, but then, if you stop, if you keep trying to avoid your feelings, that's when shit starts to get worse. Essentially,
Oh yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
yeah, like that's what happened to me. Like when I like, essentially, what happened was like in January, and I'm gonna be completely transparent here. It wasn't you that I got envious of because you got big after I took my break, but it was another YouTube content creator that I was good friends with. He got really big, and like, he shot up like just rapidly, and I was envious, and then I started to self doubt. I started to feel like I wasn't good enough because I had been growing, slowly ish, and then but then like I also grew fast at the same time. So it's like I wasn't seeing my own worth and like what I brought to the table, and I was trying to pretend like everything was fine until I just completely burnt out and broke down. And it's not that guy's fault at all. He earned his spot, but I was not looking at it from that perspective, and I had to grow in that respect. So I try to give that knowledge to other people now that I know it.
But I would say how you built your channel is still very impressive. Because I know at the time I watched you, you had like less than 2,000 subs. But the thing is, every one of your videos had like over 1,000 views. So it was already really consistent. And because that kind of growth, that kind of like maintenance just felt really, I guess it inspired me. Because if I didn't think that was impressive, I probably wouldn't have made my channel.
That was one thing I really, yeah, and again I appreciate that. Like, and that was one thing I really did value was like that I had like that 1-to-1 ratio,
Mm.
which isn't very common. But even looking at your channel, man, you got that going on too. Like, you have a straight 1-to-1 ratio. That's awesome. Like it's
Yeah,
actually better than 1-to-1.
I tr- I would say there will be one day where I switch to another type of content. Um,
Just enjoy it for what it is right now, man. By the way, I don't know if you realize, but one of your videos hit over 100,000
oh yeah, for some reason people just really like tier list videos. I don't know why.
because they're easy. They're easy to digest. Um, I wanted to circumvent that. I don't know if you ever saw like my rankings videos, but I wanted to circumvent the whole tier list thing because
I did see your videos. I
yeah.
pretty much like watched all of your videos
Oh,
over the course of last year.
oh, that's awesome, man. I mean, I feel bad. Like, I do watch most of your videos, especially the Dead Cells ones, but I honestly can't keep up with. I subscribe to so many people. I cannot keep up with everybody. It's so difficult. But
Yeah,
I do have notifications enabled for you.
hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, and again, full transparency, there was a little bit of jealousy or envy, not jealousy, envy. Because envy is when you want what someone else has. Jealousy is when you want something taken away. I had envy for what you were doing, but then after a while, again, I just realized that you know what, Richard is doing so many amazing things right now, and I can learn from him. And even if I don't ever want to go back to YouTube like as much as I was previously doing, um, I can still apply it in some other capacity in life. And I think, for you, like being so open to suggestions, like really has helped you out. And I'm looking forward to seeing you grow, man. Like whatever content you do, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think I would say I would think the same way for you because I know that yeah, because I know that you knew very little about YouTube starting out your channel
Oh
and
yeah,
just seeing it grow like that, it was inspiring to me.
it was tough, man. Like an underrated part of YouTube that's so difficult is I know people comment on this, but we don't actually consider the weight of it is negative comments.
Mhm.
And every now and then I'll get like a negative comment and I go through like the whole crisis thing in my mind and it's like, some people are able to shrug that off so easily, but if your mental health is not in a good spot and you're having a bad day and you see that comment, like it fucks you up. And I don't know
Oh
if that's
yeah.
happened to you, but
Yeah, a couple of times, but I don't know. The way I see it is just I can always just improve. If there's a negative comment, it's probably because of something that I did.
well, yeah, I mean, in the way I meant negative was not in terms of feedback. That's really important. I was talking more about like just jerks.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, those exist, but you just
Yeah,
have to live with it.
and I would say that's the hardest part of having a YouTube channel is that specifically that it's not even because think about why we become so cautious when it comes to doing things is because we don't want bad reception. Why do so many people struggle with making a YouTube channel because of that exact thing? Or
Yeah,
even like
YouTube, it's definitely not for everyone, I would say.
yeah, I mean, you whether it's YouTube or TikTok or whatever, like whatever your jam is, like it's important to realize that like unfortunately there's a lot of people in pain out there and a lot of people who are struggling and just a lot of people who just are act unacceptably in general and they take it out on you. And it's not you, it's something else going on in their life and I try to tell myself that doesn't always work, but that is what it is typically
Mm,
because they don't know you.
yeah, for sure. But I think yeah, this is a problem in I guess entirety of social media.
Oh yeah, if you ever go to a basketball player's Instagram, it's bad. Everyone likes to say Twitter is bad, but I disagree. I think all of social media creates toxicity, and I think it's a symptom of a much larger problem, which is that I think we are constantly trying to one up each other and be better than each other, and I hate that. Like, and I don't know what culture you're from, but like, I'm Indian American, and our culture is like notoriously competitive. Um,
Mm.
and I internalized so much of that. And as I've gotten older, especially as I hit my late 20s, I'm turning 30 next year. As I'm getting older, I'm realizing that like it's also pointless because I'm in a field that there's not a lot of people with my culture and background in, and sometimes I get like weird reactions and shit, and and I don't earn as much money as like someone with like that more quote unquote acceptable field, and like I don't know, like I it would be easy for me to just feel like a failure constantly, and
Yeah, I would say
it's
because I've definitely felt that way as well. Just like in school or online, I would say.
yeah, like your friends in college and stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I'm sure even in high school, like you said, you weren't popular, but seeing the popular kids, like probably made you a little bit like, in, I guess insecure. Is that the right word to use here?
I would say so. It's just that I felt like I kind of wasted my high school years. Like I literally didn't do anything, and I felt like I missed out on like a really important experience.
I think that's valid. I think it's certainly a valid perspective to have, but I'm gonna challenge that. Like, how old are you?
I'm turning 21 this month, actually.
Okay, so you're turning 21 this month, um, and high school ended about 3 years ago, so not that long ago. So I'm 8 years older than you, so between nine technically, eight and a half years older than you. So between ages 21 and 29, I can tell you that I graduated college at a substance abuse prom. I got clean. I switched my career. I graduated grad school. I turned my life around. I got mental health help finally. Like I did so many things in those 8.5 years, and like I figured it out super late. I only figured it out like over the past year, and the person that you're talking to now, that wasn't always that person. And what I'm trying to say is, yes, regrets are going to be there, but at the same time, you have an opportunity to grow and to form new memories and to be around new people. Like I barely talk to anyone from high school now. Like it's almost all of my friends are my friends. Like either like they were lifers, like I've known them since I was a kid, or like after I got clean 4 years ago. Like they have been like just these new memories, and that is what ultimately is meaningful. But it's not necessarily going to seem like that right now, but like I think the more you just live your life, the easier it's going to be to not think about the high school stuff as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I try to make up for it in college, to be honest.
Dude, you created a YouTube channel with almost 10,000 subs. How many people do that?
I suppose that's true. Yeah.
I mean, you were talking about how hard it was for me to grow, but you also started off with 0 subs too. Like you start and you had the same niche thing, and you put in a crap ton of work. And when was your first video? It was this year, I think. Yeah, it was just this year, or it might have been like late December. Um, but in 6 months, you grew up to 8,000 subs, which is extreme growth. I don't think you realize like how good that is. Um, and you did it like not through buying subs or whatever. Like you did it legitimately, and I think that's a lot to be proud of. At least that's how I see it, man. Like I'm excited for you. Like I was really excited for you. Like after I got over my envy, like that's how I saw that number and I was like, holy shit, this guy's on it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely proud of where I am today, and I think improving is all part of like the process. Like
Mhm.
I'm someone that's a what was it?
Perfectionist.
Yes, perfectionist. So
I am too. Don't worry. um, and I can be really hard on myself still. I mean, I say all these things, and this week I might have a negative interaction at work and then be super hard on myself. I mean, I think you got to keep yourself in check. That's where I need to work on a little bit.